Hello everyone. Okay, it's the summer holidays. So glad we're finally here. I had forgotten that I struggle to film during the summer holidays or any holiday because filming with people around me just feels weird. I'm very spoiled and lucky in that usually when my husband's away at work and my daughter's at school, I have the entire house to roam around and I can speak freely without fear of judgment. Well, I judge myself a little bit from time to time, but other than that, I have free reign until now. So I thought, I'll go sit in the greenhouse. I did that last year and it worked out pretty well. The greenhouse is greenhousing. It didn't feel quite so stuffy, but now I've set everything up. I'm sat here thinking, it's toasty. So I'm going to keep this brief. I've also brought myself a cup of tea that I may or may not drink because I'm toasty. But look, I wanted to share it with you. I have a summer mug. You have no idea. I love it. Last year I couldn't find one that I liked, and Gloucester's. I'll put the link in the description if anybody's interested. I'm not affiliated at all. I have an autumn mug. I have a winter mug. Smashed the handle, but you know, I don't have the best of luck with mugs. But then I didn't have a spring mug or a summer mug. Now I have a summer mug. So now it's just a spring mug that I need and then my collection is complete. Anywho, we'll pop that down because we have stuff to get through. I have projects to share. I said in my spring catch up that I didn't really have much mojo when it came to personal projects. I'd finished my socks. Ooh, which will bring me nicely to the first thing that I have to show you. Obviously I've got my summer project bag. Inspired by a beautiful sunset that we had here last year before, at some point. And I've not seen one that has come close to it since. But, when did I finish that? Sorry, I've just surprised myself. I thought I was halfway through my first sock. I have a completed sock here. Ta-da! Right, I've started my second sock. It's been a little while since I started it. Anyway, you might be seeing a theme here because look, I've got my little stitch marker. It's a little bee. And then, oh my god, come here. Yeah. I like bees. When I find things that I like, I embrace them. And what? No, it's still too hot. It's still... Anyway, well that was a nice surprise. Sock and a half as opposed to just the half. And then that will be sock set number 2. I did make this one with the same pattern that I used to make the last one. Again, more self-striping yarn. The only things that I did differently is that I've made the cuff a little bit smaller and the leg part as well, because the first set were a bit long. I think after this I would like to try my hand at knitting socks with a different coloured heel and toe. Self-striping yarn is fun, but I just want to try something a bit different now. The other thing that I like about socks is that when I'm doing the plain knitting bit, like the main part of the leg or the foot, it's something that I can do almost without thinking and often without even looking, which blows my mind. Can't do that with the toe part or the heel part, that needs concentration. But it does mean that if I'm playing, for example, D&D, it's perfect for when things get a bit nerve-wracking and I need something to do with my hands. It just keeps my hands busy so that I can relax a bit. Right, so that's the first project. Personal project. You may have seen this one in my last video. It's my fabric book, my stitch journal, whatever you want to call it. And I'd only finished that page. That's the introduction page and there's going to be a cover and all the stuff. But I've done some more. Look. Oh, ta-da! The chickens are impressed as well. Okay, I'll get my head out of the way and I'll show you closer. So this is the project that I never finished. It was sort of what got me into embroidery in the first place. That was the little heart that my daughter made for me years ago, and essentially I just wanted somewhere to keep this because it was just stuffed in my whip box for too long, and it was starting to go a bit musty smelling and stuff, so it doesn't smell musty anymore. Can confirm. Now I was going to make a page out of each of these patches, and I was going to do other stuff, and I didn't. I think I shared in my Box of Doom video that I've got a whole bunch of work in progresses that, and there's a lot of finished embroidery projects, and I just want a home for them before I start on the more arty pages. So there we go. This was something that I just made because I was bored and I needed something to do with my hands, so be a nice human. This was my example of the personalised wood slice piece that I sell in this shop. So I made one for me and Dan, and that needed a home. This was a word of the year that I did, and I stitched and painted that up so that I could have it on display. And this one, some of you may recognise, when I hit 10k on my YouTube channel, I made myself my own little YouTube button, play button. Anyway, so that brings us to there. So that's the back of those pages. I've started another page, which is why I haven't yet stitched these together, but it's nearly there, and then you can see what I'm working on at the moment. I'm actually quite proud of this page. This is me. I think I was 7 years old. Look at that little face. And I'm not completely full of myself. I put it there because I wanted to show what I used as a reference photo for this, which was something that I was going to put in the shop. I never did. It was going to be something that I could personalise. People could send me the pictures of themselves when they were kids, and then I was going to do like an outline illustration in embroidery with this. A nice idea. It just turns out that once I'd made myself one, I'd scratched that itch and didn't want to do it again. I decided to put a little tree there because you can't really see in the background. There's loads of trees in the background, and the person taking the photographs on this day thought the trees would make a nice background for the pictures. I remember my brother at the time, he had this great idea of getting into the tree to have his photograph taken, and it's blurry. And I don't know why, but my mum kept it all these years, even though you can't actually see my brother and his stupid face. So I stitched up a little tree there. Sunflowers, because always I love sunflowers. And what I'm going to finish it off with, you can kind of see that I've done the outline there, mainly to cover some of these mistakes that I made here. So this is is it a photo transfer? I got some transfer paper, and this was my first ever attempt at using it. It was great fun. I did mess it up a little bit, so I need to add something to cover up those little dots. Anyway, these flowers, I forget what their correct name is, because in my head they've always been called fairy flowers, because that's what I was told they were called when I was little by some adult, probably my mum. They're little white flowers, and they look like they have little pink and yellow dots on them, and I was told that the fairies painted the dots on them. Listen, I was little, and I actually have that as one of my favourite memories because I just thought that was lovely. And I'll put a picture up here to show you what they actually are, what they're actually called. It's not fairy flowers, but you know that's what I'm going to remember them as. Anyway, so the stitch book, fabric book, stitch journal, whatever it is coming along nicely. And that's pretty much all I've been doing personal project wise. I do have another one on the go. I don't really have much to show you. Excuse me. These are a pair of trousers that I bought years ago. Actually, I did show you these in the last video, the Doom box video, because they were sat in the whip box, and I've kind of unstitched them. They look like rags held together by the waistband at this point. Hello. The reason being, I need to label each part so that I don't forget which part is which, and then I will take it off the waistband. But I know that if I take it off the waistband and then try and figure out which is what, I'll get it wrong, because I'm going to be using this as a template to make myself a plain pair of trousers, ironically, with this fabric, which is very stretchy. That is going to be a pain in the neck to stitch up. I am already regretting my colour choice because look at that. There's a reason why I don't wear dark colours anymore. My animals, one of which is sitting just through the foliage. Let's see if I can spin you around so that you can see him. That's all I've got to show you, I think. There will be a video about these because of course there will. I will update you on progress with this because of course I will. And I will be sharing my project with the socks because of course I will. And I wish this video had like scratch and sniff because this greenhouse smells beautiful. I have put coffee grounds on the tops in a vain attempt to try and get rid of the slugs. It hasn't done that. Don't bother with it. Doesn't work. However, the greenhouse smells divine. Mwah. Right, okay. I'm quite warm, so I'm gonna leave now and finish my coffee in the house, which is cooler. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.